looks like we're driving into rocks. Hi, I'm Rosie.
And I'm Jim.
And this is Cruising Sea Venture.
Hi everyone. In this short episode, at least for a number of days, we end up doing quite a bit. We start off where we left off in the episode 32. We go into aptly named Hole in the Wall, anchorage. Then we come around and visit Coldwater Bay. Wind through El Capitan Passage. A little narrow passage where we spend our anniversary in Sarkar Cove. From Sarkar Cove, we wind our way out into Sea Otter Sound, where we cross Davidson Inlet to Warren Cove on Warren Island. The Hole in the Wall anchorage, shown here on the chart, is a large bay accessed by a really narrow little channel. As you can see looking at the chart, it was actually off a little bit and it showed us going over land. Just pointing out the importance of making sure you look out the window and not just at the chart. You can see how narrow the entrance is here. We're in the Hole in the Wall anchorage where we were going to come and kayak and chase the sea otters around.
Check out the sea otters, yeah.
And got in here and have been here about 5 hours, something like that. And the wind is blowing consistently 15 knots in the anchorage. I'm not yet convinced if it's actually blowing that much outside or if it's funneling into the narrow entryway and just blowing here in the anchorage. But it's a great example of just kind of going with the flow and letting nature manage your course. We're going to do all these outside things now. It's really blustery, so instead we relaxed inside, read books, making dinner, and then I think we're going to watch a cruising person's classic movie, Master and Commander. Woo-hoo! Tonight. Yeah, have movie night instead of explore the cold, windy wilderness night. So we'll explore it by looking out the window. Up early this morning, left Hole in the Wall where the wind never really abated in there. And there's this great granite cliff channel that you're supposed to, granite walled channel you're supposed to go. It's supposed to be really cool, so we're gonna go check it out. But we have fog this morning. So I think we're going to go into a pretty easy anchorage and anchor and cook breakfast and relax and wait for the fog to lift. Coldwater Bay was perfect for entering in the fog. A large open bay that was easy to anchor. After the fog cleared, we then went on an epic dinghy ride. Hey everybody. So we're out here exploring these islands. It's just incredible. We've been a couple days really since we've seen another cruising boat, and it just feels so remote and wild and pristine. There's sea otters swimming around and stuff. It's just awesome.
We're departing Coldwater Bay. It's a great little anchorage.
El Capitan Passage is a long passage that has some narrow spots and wide spots, dredged spots, and other interesting features. El Capitan Cave, which we'd hoped to visit, was closed. We couldn't find any rangers or anything to give us access.
I'm pretty excited. This is sunshine in Alaska, and boy, my experience has shown that that doesn't happen too often, so we're celebrating every moment of it. Look at this passage. It's just beautiful. It's part of the El Capitan Passage as we continue to work our way south.
Sarkar Cove was a large bay that was easy to enter and was just a beautiful setting for the day.
Hey everyone, just wanted to share that we actually get to have dinner on the upper deck tonight. It's warm enough and the sun is shining. We're in a little bay, settling in for the night and loving the sunshine.
Good morning. We've had a variety of days of afternoon sunshine, but today we woke up to morning sunshine in this cove that has the lodge in it, which is really cool. The lodge looks really well put together over there. We're going to have to check it out, El Capitan Lodge, because they've had float planes coming and going all morning. So that's been kind of cool. It is June 18th, and we are on the west coast of Prince of Wales Island. We left Everett just about a month ago, which is great. And so far, we've had absolutely zero mechanical problems. Have not needed to open the toolbox for the first about 800 miles, which is great. Today kind of gets to be a special day for a couple of reasons. One, we woke up to sunshine. Two, it is Rosie and I's 35th wedding anniversary today, June 18th. So we get to spend it right where we want to be, in a remote place in Southeast Alaska. And three, we had our first mechanical breakdown because I got up bright and early, wanted to start the coffee maker. So the first thing I do is start the generator and flip the switch for the generator to start, and absolutely nothing happened. So it took a little bit of diagnostics. But the generator is currently running. Not sure exactly what the problem is, but for some reason it was not getting a solid course of 12 volt power to start it. So it's in the cables or the battery switches. I'm going to work on that. Thankfully, if you remember from the engine room tour, we've got a 8D spare battery, and I've got a set of battery cables. So we set up those battery cables from the generator to the spare 8D battery, and the generator fired right off. So I know it's in the cabling to the generator. So we'll work on that. In the meantime, we're charging the batteries and we'll go from there. All right, here's our Northern Lights generator that we've now charged the batteries, and so we're all good there. So I went in and turned off the generator and went to restart, and then nothing like we expected. So, all right, the first test we're going to do is using our big jumper cables that we carry with us. That, by the way, Rosie was really annoyed that I bought these heavy, super heavy duty long cable jumper cables, but now she's glad I did.
Fair statement.
We're going to hook up one side. Just the positive or just the negative. Actually, I'll hook them both sides up to here. Okay, so I've hooked up both sides. I've hooked up both sides of the jumper cable to the generator. Now over here on our battery, why don't we hook up just the positive and leave the negative unhooked. Now, if we try to start the generator and it starts right up, then we know the problem is in the positive side of the cables. And if it doesn't, then we'll reverse the two and we'll figure out whether it's a positive cable or a ground cable, and we'll know where to start. So we'll give that a try and report back. All right, we've done our test and determined that when we use the jumper cable with only the ground hooked up with the jumper cables, it starts right up. So the problem is in our ground cable between the generator and where it grounds over here. So we're going to have to do some tracing and figure that out. But we know the problem is now in our ground wire connection from the generator. So I chased the ground cable, which comes to our big ground bus bar back here, disconnected the end of the cable, and thought it might be in this connection, and played with it with my fingers, and this is what happened. That would do it. Clearly, this is not making a good ground. So that is the problem. Now, fortunately, I think we have all the tools on board to redo this connection. You know, this is the kind of connection and the way it's pinched that's at like a commercial, like you go to a shop and buy battery cables at a set length. But we will work on this and replace this end and see what we can do, but I think we will have solved our problem. All right, we changed the lug on that cable and hooked it back all up. I'll show it to you. There's the new one. I put green electrical tape on it, and success. Fired right off. So, problem started today, problem solved this morning. Not a big problem, but you had to kind of, I suppose, figure out where to start when there's just nothing happening when you flip the switch. Anyway, we're good to go.
This lodge has been reasonably busy this morning. They've had 3, 4, maybe 5 float planes show up and take off again.
Here's our view this morning cruising. This really is like living in an IMAX theater. Surrounded by all this natural beauty. Cruising in dead calm water. Just a very slight ocean swell sneaking its way in here. I think later we're going to have the paravanes in the water, the fish, when we get out from behind the protection of this island group. But in the meantime, working on lunch. So while we're cruising along, barbecuing up some chicken, which will be ready in a few minutes. Chicken and pasta salad lunch. Right, paravanes are deployed in about 2-meter seas.
We think at 2 o'clock there's a whale or something.
We have whales right off the side of the boat here, I think. We're headed pretty much into it, so you can see the pitching. Remember, the paravanes don't assist with pitching, just roll. But you can see that horizon is staying very flat because we're not really rolling at all.
Even in these crazy seas.
So maybe you can get a sense of the size of the ocean rollers here. The noise you hear in the background is the autopilot working hard to maintain our course. We have about 8 more minutes, and we'll be able to we'll make a turn to starboard of about 45 degrees. We'll put these big 2-meter rollers right on the beam and see what it's like. And we'll film some more then and report back.
But I wanted to show you these swells because they're kind of cool. Hopefully you can see these. Roads going up and down.
Okay, we've pretty much completed our turn. The rollers are pretty much on the beam at about 80 degrees, 75 or 80 degrees. Roll is
Still there a little bit.
little bit, let's see. 7 degrees to starboard, 7 degrees to port, somewhere right in there. The pitching is actually reduced. So this might be actually be a little more comfortable than when we were going straight into it.
And I think it's a longer time period between crests.
Yeah.
So that makes it a little more comfortable as well.
But I'm pretty confident because of our experience pre-paravanes. This would be a 25 to or so degree roll each way.
Yeah, definitely.
A 50 degree roll, both sides combined. And right now, both sides combined, we're at about 12 degrees of roll.
This is actually remarkably okay.
I don't know what makes a cove, and a bay, but Warren Cove seemed like just one huge bay to me, but it was great. All right, Sea Venture at anchor in this beautiful bay.
On a sunny day.
On a sunny day in Southeast Alaska. We're in the red dinghy because it looks like there's a surf and sand beach, so it's hard to...
We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
But here we are, sitting in our red dinghy. Ah!
Hold on, here comes full speed.
The weed eaters are at work.
Surf, okay, it's like 1 foot, maybe 8 inches. But we're practicing our surf landings for Mexico.
That's it, yeah. We'll
We
see how
gotta ride
this
the roller
goes.
in, kill the engine, raise it up, pick up the dinghy, and run up the beach.
Oh boy, here we go.
Oh well, didn't go quite as planned. Pulling me out of the dinghy, I managed to fall out.
Oh well. Practice, that's why we practice.
Woo! Shadows.
Which means we have sun.
To dry from.
Poor Jim's all wet. Not that I fared too much better, but anyway.
We have a lot of practice to do.
A lot of practice to do. Look at this beach.
But there's Sea Venture out there. From here,
There
she
she
looks dead
is.
still.
Oh man, that's pretty cool. And look at this beach. It's
This
beautiful.
is like a beautiful white sand beach in Southeast Alaska. Happy anniversary! Woo! Getting ready to leave Warren Cove, which is really more of a bay than a cove. Here's a view out the front. We missed the sunrise behind those trees. It is 4 a.m.
Hi everyone, thanks for watching and thanks also for all of your comments. We really do appreciate it.
Yes, we do.
Now, on the next episode, we are going to leave Walden Island, make our way over to Coronation Island.
Yep, where we have our first encounter with a humpback whale while anchored. Then we leave Coronation Island and go out into the big swells and ocean as we work our way up the west coast of Baranof Island to Sitka.
Yes.
All right.
So, till then,
Wishing you
no
no wind and flat seas. Bye, everybody.